for Thursday, June 29, the 180th day of 2023. There are 185 days left in the year. Good morning, MB. Guiding through In the Know at K105. On Litchfield's Country Station, 103.9 The Moose. Live online at K105.com via the Apple and Android smartphone app using the SoundCloud, iTunes, or Spotify podcast. On Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we'll update you on the latest news headlines around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. We will keep an eye on the weather today. Going to be another dynamic day. And we will also give you a chance to win. That and a whole lot more coming up today. You're on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire, is my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's me. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
You're not quite sure yet?
I'm not sure yet.
Okay, well, you can check back with us later once you decide.
I'm here.
You have been, for the better part of the week, you've been a short order cook. Yes. Because we've had extra mouths to feed in our home. You've already been in the kitchen this morning. Today was pancake day.
It was.
Yes. Last night was a pretty sophisticated dinner.
Yes.
And did you have any bloopers in the kitchen this morning? Anything go wrong when you were making the pancakes?
I don't think so.
The average biggest kitchen blooper is having something explode in the microwave.
Yeah, I can see that.
31% have set something on fire, and 21% have dropped a jar of spaghetti sauce. Ugh. Anything bad like that ever happened to you?
Well, I mean, we've had a mess in the pantry, but I don't think that's my
true.
fault.
Had that. And then you did have that pressure cooker thing. That's a kitchen blooper. That happened one time. That was extremely dangerous. But here's to no bloopers in the kitchen, and here's to you being able to retire being a short order cook. He is a 5-time winner of the coveted Ohio News Hawk Award. He's a 2-time Silver Sound nominee, covering every corner of the globe: London, Budapest, Rio, Tokyo, and even Litchfield. He's Sam Gormley and the Sports. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Ralph.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm very happy.
Happy? Oh, that's good.
I'm extremely happy you got the shirt memo.
Yeah. It's almost an identical shirt, too.
Except for the piping on the shoulders, I think it's the same. It's the same shirt. I got a little piping right here, a little white.
I don't.
Yours is just a solid blue. But
she missed the memo, I guess.
No, she wants to wear her mama.
Yeah, the memo is mama tired.
I mean, it's even like same logo and everything.
Oh yeah, it's the stenciling.
Now, do you have the?
Everything?
I got the weird Nike button on the back. Do you?
No, I don't think I have that. I think my bauble.
See, she can see my.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Okay.
I think my bauble.
I don't know what to call that.
My bauble is the piping. Your bauble is the fancy tag on the back.
Yeah, I guess it's a tag.
Did the Reds win last night?
They did.
Good.
In extra innings.
I was not able to look. I fell asleep during the Yankees game.
You're probably regretting that.
I am regretting falling asleep because they're on the West Coast playing Oakland. So I woke up this morning to see that Germán did get his perfect game, 27 up and 27 down. When he came back out to start the 7th, I thought you really should stay awake to see this because it doesn't happen that often, and just couldn't do it. If they'd been in the Bronx, I could have stayed up because the game would have started at a reasonable hour, but nonetheless. So Domingo Germán gets a. The bats for Oakland were very quiet last night compared to the night before when Oakland scored like 7 runs or so. So anyway, it's good. He wasn't even supposed to start last night, so additionally surprising. Hey, later on in the hour, we're going to get some bumpy weather come through the Twin Lakes area. If you're with us live, I think that it's in the next half hour or so, and we'll be coming from our northwest and then moving kind of in a southeasterly pattern across the area. So just want to, we've had a rough week weather-wise, still have people without power today. Some people who've just been restored in the last 24 to 36 hours, and now obviously they have natural fears of, oh great, are we going to go through this all over again, especially with a heat advisory in place for later today. So hard to believe that we're going to get a big thunderstorm this early in the day and then going to end up having a heat advisory. But the fact that the atmosphere is conducive for this thunderstorm is an indicator on why we're going to have a heat advisory. The high temperature today, only 88, but it will feel much warmer than that because of the humidity. So that stickiness of the atmosphere will hang around. So something to keep an eye on the next few days, heat advisories. I noticed that the atmosphere, the hazy, that smoke is starting to get to me after a few days. The last time we had it, it wasn't as bad. To me, it stayed more upper atmosphere for us. And this wildfire smoke seems to be more settling, closer to the surface of the ground.
You can tell, one of the best places in town to tell is when you're on the bypass and you're kind of going down up at the top of the hill for us, because you kind of get that look over and it's flat. And you see, and you could really tell that day that it was yesterday that it was out there. And I saw some even pictures of Cincinnati, and Cincinnati almost had that New York feel, not quite as bad, but where
another place you can get a really good perspective to the western portion of the county is just as you leave through Black Rock and you go over Allens Lake Hill, and you can see forever to the west, just like in you're talking about on the bypass, being able to see forever to the east. You get a real good feel for what the atmosphere is looking like. So anyway, going to be an interesting day. Our friends at WAVE are calling it an alert day. A high of 88, overnight low of 75, so not even really cool overnight. Tomorrow, 94 is the high. Heat index is going to feel much higher than that. And then, as you saw into the distance, it's just going to be warm. And much of what the southwest United States has been going through the last week, some of that moves over into our area.
They can keep it.
They can keep it. We should not be in the 100-degree range. We should not be above 100 in the actual temperature. But
I think they're reading that this is like one of the biggest heat waves we've had since 2012.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Which is also, now that I'm thinking, ironic because it was the first perfect game last night since 2012.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe
that's something
maybe
that's written in the atmosphere.
maybe your boy is the guy to blame.
Maybe. The Coast Guard yesterday did recover some of the wreckage of the Titan submersible and what they believe are human remains. And so the news came hours after the announcement that debris from the Titan collected from the seafloor more than 12,000 feet below the surface. Twisted chunks of the submersible were unloaded at a Canadian Coast Guard pier. If you're watching, you can see some of those panels. I saw the porthole window come off that ship. And so, anyway, they'll be able to get more information on that.
Some body parts or something?
Yeah, they kind of had to be sensitive about what they described them as. They just kind of simply called them human remains and just kind of left it at that. I don't know that we want any more detail than that. Also, another bumpy day for travelers. They're slowly trying to recover, but they just got so far behind on the eastern seaboard, really in the northeast United States earlier in the week, that just having a hard time getting caught up. And today and tomorrow are super busy travel days heading into the holiday. If you've got a flight scheduled that involves lots of legs, if you got a connection here, especially through one of the busier airports, like if you got to go through Charlotte, Atlanta, O'Hare, anywhere like that, and you got a connection somewhere else, your likelihood of arriving on time goes way down. If you've got shorter direct flights, then there are just less moving parts to accomplishing that. So be ready. By early evening yesterday, nearly 5,800 flights had been delayed. 1,000 more were canceled. United Airlines, which depends on the airport in Newark, canceled most of its flights among U.S. airlines for the most flights among U.S. airlines for a fifth straight day. United seems to be having the greatest problem during this situation. So, saw them lined up yesterday, and it's just frustrating. 3 people were injured when a dump truck plowed into the back of 3 vehicles in Caneyville yesterday morning about 10. The first responders reported an accident at 385 West Maple in Caneyville. First responders said they found a westbound passenger car had slowed to nearly a stop as a large piece of eastbound farm equipment had passed by. As the passenger car slowed, a dump truck failed to stop in time and struck a vehicle in the rear, pushed that vehicle into another vehicle. The dump truck continued and striking the nearly stopped passenger car in the rear. 2 passengers in the car had to be extricated by the jaws of life. And 3 people, at least one from Grayson County, transported by EMS to Owensboro Health Twin Lakes with non-life-threatening injuries. And, of created a traffic snarl for an hour and a half or so yesterday. State police are looking for a Hardin County woman wanted for stealing a vehicle. If you've seen this woman, 30-year-old Shannon Randall of Radcliffe, she was arrested in August 2022 with charges of receiving stolen property, and the fact that Randall is now wanted indicates she failed to show up at a court to answer her charge. So there she is.
Does she have any features that we could look for?
She got, well, in the olden days, you could say the person has tattoos as an identifying mark, and you say, okay, keep an eye out for a person with a lot of tattoos. But now when you describe
Phantom of the Opera
person
mask?
has a lot of tattoos,
That it looks
just
like
doesn't-
a Mardi Gras
Yeah.
mask with like
or
roses.
Phantom of the Opera mask, or
yeah, something.
some type of
I think Misty would rule against this.
eyes wide shut or whatever. Let's go. Okay, so there are new laws taking effect in Kentucky today, and these happen 90 days after the legislative session, which just typically usually coincides with roughly July 1st. And so in these areas, you might want to, if these areas are important to you or you're impacted in some way, you might want to pay attention and read up on things that yesterday were illegal or legal, and today they are not or have been enhanced in some way.
Can we do the ice cream cone now in the back pocket?
They just never quite seem to get around to that one, and I'm unsure why. There's a child abuse bill. It ensures that law enforcement, social services, and other authorities are properly notified and are communicating in child abuse cases. There's DUI restitution allows courts to order restitution for children whose parents are killed or permanently disabled by an intoxicated driver. That could have implications. The gender and sexuality bill, Senate Bill 150, which puberty blockers, bans puberty blockers, etc. But there was a stay on an appeal yesterday, so that one is somewhat in flux. We'll get to more of that in a minute. The gray machines issues have changed, so how they were operating now is not how they're allowed to operate as of today. Keys for workforce training. What does that mean? Historically, your keys money could only be used at the equivalent of a college, a 4-year college, an institution. Now your keys money, if you want to get a vocational degree or something like that, the parameters for that have changed, giving you a little more flexibility on what you'd like to do with the keys money that you've earned. So that's good. Physician wellness law, a police wellness law, religious freedoms in schools law, the Sports Wagering Act is now legal.
Heck yeah.
I don't know how long it'll be before that comes online,
They
but
said that in fact, I was even looking that they're hiring for the czar of gambling of who's going to put that all together now.
Drew Franklin, they're going to hire Drew Franklin to.
I was interested when I was reading it. Is like, how are you qualified for that? Like, is it a Drew Franklin who is an avid sports wagerer, knows the ins and outs, or is it somebody that they have to almost pull from Vegas who knows
Yeah, I think
it's
they
interesting.
use somebody from the sports wagering industry probably.
Yeah, it was interesting to me. I was interested in reading the job description.
A new student discipline bill requires school boards to adopt policies related to expelling students who pose a threat to safety and well-being of others. A bill addressing teacher shortages, and then a bill addressing tracking devices. Senate Bill 199 outlaws, with some exceptions, installing tracking devices on motor vehicles without the consent of the vehicle owner or the lessee. So some of the laws that are changing as of today. Daniel Cameron, in relation to Senate Bill 150 and the federal judge's ruling that temporarily blocked portions of Senate Bill 150, he said the judge's ruling was misguided. Judge David Hale's ruling keeps puberty blockers and hormone therapy legal and accessible to those under 18 in Kentucky, while a larger lawsuit plays out. And so we will continue to wait and see how that unfolds. A small airplane crashed and sank into Arkansas's Lake Hamilton, not far from Hot Springs Memorial Field Airport, killing the pilot and injuring his daughter. This happened, I believe, yesterday. No, it was diverted Monday. It was a single-engine Cessna 177 Cardinal. It was flown by 49-year-old Daniel Dale Jones, who is from Kentucky. I'm not sure what part of Kentucky. and his daughter, his 23-year-old daughter, Denise. So he perished in that accident. She was rescued and was taken to a nearby medical center, and looks like she will survive. But I hadn't heard of that crash until this morning. It happened on Monday in Arkansas involving Kentuckians. Okay. I know some of you are already behaving irresponsibly with fireworks and not being considerate to your neighbors. Like the 4th of July is on Tuesday. Even on a Saturday. Like I can get on board with Saturday. State Park's having their fireworks on Saturday.
The 4th of July somewhere, isn't that what they say?
I don't think that's what they say. And so but people are going to do what they're going to do. So what do you do if you're, say, a pet owner? Well, you just kind of prepare the best you can, because a lot of pets, in particular dogs, don't really dig the fireworks.
My parents have one of those. Poor guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the quivering and the shaking and the. Make sure, couple things you can do. Have your pet's identification tags with up-to-date information. That's sometimes you just overlook that, but if they escape for whatever reason, maybe they will be returned. A neighbor finds them and they can, easily find. Instead of the old, what we do now, instead of we pick up the party line and call our neighbors, we just post it on Facebook and we say, whose dog is this? Mm-hmm. Right, that's the modern day coconut telegraph.
Or message the radio station about it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Can you all find my dog? Microchipping is a good idea. Take a current photo of all your pets so that you can go social. Say, has anybody seen my dog?
I think they even recommend taking a selfie with said dog just to kind of prove.
That's a good idea.
Oh, that is a good idea.
You also probably, by the way, we're talking about dogs.
An Ussie.
An Ussie, yeah. Go ahead and take pictures of your husband too, so that way if he runs off and doesn't come back, you can post his current photo
or all of his limbs, maybe.
Oh yeah. If your pet has been historically anxious on this holiday, or if you have reason to expect potentially harmful reactions, consult your veterinarian, as some may need medication. And look, the discomfort over fireworks is not limited to pets. There are vets too that have issues, PTSD issues that fought during war times, and it's some of those noises created while you're expressing your freedom. It is making it harder for them who went and protected your freedom. So just be responsible.
So on that note, I did notice that the animal shelter, in honor of 4th of July, they are doing the $15 microchips.
Good idea.
It's June 26th through July. Hang on, let me my eyes. Through July 1st. So you might want to get on it.
Through tomorrow.
Oh,
Saturday.
Yeah, so you might want to get on it, but I don't know what they are normally, but $15 sounds like a good deal if you haven't had the opportunity to microchip your dog.
Sam, was it subliminal? Do you think that we chose a UK shirt today because U of L got such bad news yesterday on the SEC ACC challenge?
Sure.
So the U of L men.
I reached into the closet and that was the first one that my hand touched.
U of L men's basketball odd man out, not getting an ACC SEC challenge matchup this season. The U of L women did. Of course, they had a really good season. The U of L men were like 4-5, or I don't know.
4-28.
4-28, and not very good in conference play. Is that what it is?
Yeah. I would probably say it has to be. Just because the brand is stronger than Boston College.
Right. UK drew Miami. Is that a good draw?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little surprising because I think everyone thought it was going to be Duke or Carolina or Virginia. But then when you look at it, Miami, who made the Final Four last year.
That's right.
Miami did.
But between the CBS Sports Classic and the the Champions Classic, you got opportunities to play Duke and Carolina.
But you don't have those opportunities to play them at Rupp Arena or at Cameron Indoor or at the Dean Dome. Like that's where
true.
It's like how much fun would it have been for Kentucky to go to Duke? Or Duke to play.
Been more fun.
Yeah, but still it would have your eyes would have been on it no matter what.
Sure. I know that a lot of public pools, a lot of say camp pools, probably state park pools, having a hard time finding lifeguards. You've got some pools that have had to shut down around the Commonwealth and around the country because they're just having a very hard time finding lifeguards. But an Ohio grandma at the age of 66, became a lifeguard just to keep her community pool open.
Love it.
So the idea was, hey, we don't have any lifeguard. We
I wanna
can't
be
find
her.
any. We can't find any young people to be lifeguards. She says, "I'm young. I'm 66. I'll
Sign me
become a
up.
lifeguard amid a staffing shortage." So
Good job.
Good looking on you, Mamaw.
I know,
You
right?
Yeah, get after it. Got to get
Rocking
to
our
a break.
whistle.
We'll come back. More on the way here on In the Know.
Owensboro Health offers excellent care for your entire family. Close to home in Grayson County with locations in Litchfield, Big Clifty, and Caneyville. Our primary care providers are experts in managing high blood pressure, diabetes, and other chronic conditions, so you can stay healthy and feel your best. Make an appointment today with one of our primary care providers at owensborohealth.org/primary care.
Homeowners, especially on the lake, have most likely experienced or will experience water erosion on their properties. There is a solution and preventative measures that can protect against this type of erosion. With the help of products and service from Scotty's Contracting and Stone, Crushed Rock Road enhancements can provide erosion control and shoreline protection. Well-designed and maintained erosion control helps ensure that today's beautiful and safe landscapes remain so tomorrow. To discuss erosion control and shoreline restoration solutions with Scotty's Contracting, call 270-259-5696.
Morning, noon, and bite. It's buy one, get one for $1 at McDonald's. Choose from a sausage McMuffin, sausage biscuit, sausage McGriddles, and hash browns. For lunch, enjoy a McDouble, McChicken, 6-piece chicken McNuggets, and more. Buy one, get one for $1. You can get 2 of the same item or mix and match them. Prices and participation may vary. Valid for product of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined with any other offer.
You may have heard the kids chanting about favorite freebies at Holiday World and Splash and Safari.
Free soft drinks, free parking, free sunscreen!
But there are plenty of favorite first and onlys to shout about too, like soaring on America's only launched wing coaster,
Thunderbird!
the world's longest water coaster.
Mammoth!
In fact, we're the water coaster capital of
The world!
For summer fun worth shouting about, find your family's favorites with tickets at holidayworld.com.
Take your remodeling project to the next level and transform an ordinary space into an extraordinary one with Masonite doors and atrium windows from Future Designs. With Masonite and Atrium, you get countless design options that give you unmatched flexibility, energy-efficient glass choices, hardware, and more. So don't just remodel, transform with Masonite doors and atrium windows built around you. Start your transformation at Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield. FDBM.net.
Your health is important to you, so when you find yourself face to face with sickness, your main concern is simply how to feel better. Well, rest assured, your feel better starts right here at Midway Pharmacy. It begins the moment you walk through our doors, where you're greeted by our friendly, knowledgeable staff, and continues on with special services like free delivery. So whether your goal is to maintain a healthy lifestyle or to overcome that untimely sickness, remember,
your feel better starts here
at Midway Pharmacy.
The ChatGPT mobile app can now search the web. OpenAI says the feature is available to ChatGPT Plus subscribers and only works with Microsoft's Bing search engine. To enable this, users must select GPT-4 and browse with Bing in the new features section of the app. TikTok users are bringing a lawsuit funded by the company itself, challenging Montana's ban against the app. The social media giant is covering legal fees for a group of 5 TikTok creators, according to a spokesperson for the platform. This is separate from TikTok's lawsuit to block Montana's new law that bans the app over national security concerns. Google is cutting jobs at Waze. The head of Google's map division made that announcement in a memo to employees. Google has been merging Waze with its own mapping products since late last year. And Apple has uploaded episode 1 of Silo to Twitter. Followers can watch the entire episode of the dystopian sci-fi TV show for free. The season finale of Silo, episode 10, airs exclusively on Apple TV Plus Friday at midnight. Check report, Mark Mayfield.
When I was younger, so much younger than today, I never needed help in any way.
Late great Tina Turner there. Today is Camera Day. It's Waffle Iron Day. And it's Bomb Pop Day. Good old red, white, and blue popsicle. Little bomb pops. Yeah, those are Those are great to have
I
this
was at
time of year.
Place a couple of weeks ago, and they had a bomb pop flavored like slushy,
Oh,
like
yeah?
a gas station did, a convenience store, and I was like, oh.
That sounds,
I didn't end up trying it, but I was like,
cool.
that sounds
pretty good. So you're getting some. So I've kind of been keeping an eye on the future radar here, and I was about to tell you that the most severe cell that I see on the future radar looks like it's going to primarily to the east of Litchfield. It would clip like Tar Hill and Big Clifty and out in that direction, but primarily. But now you say maybe they're
Yeah, it's-
eyeing a sliver down around Yemen.
Well, a severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for most of Ohio County. In fact, looking at it, it looks like pretty much the entirety of Ohio County. And it's interesting, maybe like a little tiny, I'm not even sure we could say a sliver of Grayson County at this point, but it is kind of moving into that direction. But it's just kind of encompassing all of Ohio County.
Yeah, but Ohio County then, something in Ohio County on this trajectory is likely to move into Butler County and then into eastern Warren County in that direction. So anyway, it's moving through, and but that's the most severe red cell that I'm seeing is moving like Radcliffe, Elizabethtown, moving east of primarily of Grayson County, according to the future radar that I'm seeing. I wanted to give you today's by the numbers, a look at who we are, things we do, and maybe even some reasons why. 24% of women say a man is instantly more attractive when he's holding a puppy. 1 in 4 women say a guy holding a puppy is better looking than without. 20% of women say they have kept a fender bender secret from their partner. 16% of men moisturize their face daily.
That has to be tough, keeping it a secret. Like my dad, I know if my mom would have tried to, my mom would never have done that. He'd walk out and he could almost smell it. That's just how he is about the cars.
Yeah. I've shared this story many times before. I think many times before, so forgive me if I'm repeating myself, but the biggest complicit, the biggest fender bender that I was complicit to was my fault. But it was when I was a kid and my grandparents were, I think, on a train trip somewhere. And my dad was using my granddad's station wagon because he was hauling his bicycle. And I shot the rear side window out of the station wagon with my BB gun.
I'm sure that went over well.
And we were able to get it repaired. And I'm not sure for many, many years that either of my grandparents were any the wiser.
Did they ever find it? I mean, did
Nothing
that
has
story
ever been said directly one way or another, but being the grandson, they're probably likely to just, well, you know, things happen, it got fixed, etc. Now, they might have been really mad at him. I don't know, but
I didn't know if this story had never been told to them. Like they still may never know.
It's been out there long enough. Like I've told it. It's had plenty of opportunities to get back to them, you know, and before my granddad passed, I never knew for sure that, you know, he knew that. But again, they would be less likely to say anything to me about it, even if they did know. And not just because it's me, just grandchildren in general. 50% of men say they hate shopping for furniture the most. That's what men hate shopping for the most is furniture? Interesting. But that's half of men. 13% of women always carry chocolate in their purse. 20% of us say we're going to cancel a streaming service to save money this summer. 47% of adults lie to their doctor about how much they drink. You're canceling a streaming service?
I did. I canceled my streaming cable. I count that as the same thing. Because during the summer, the only TV I really watch is the Reds, and I can't get that on my streaming service anyways.
So what, were you using Hulu?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Because, MLB can't make it easy for me to watch baseball.
Right. I did see it advertised yesterday on my YouTube TV that you might be able to buy Bally Sports by itself. I know you've got the Cubs are now doing an over-the-top deal. The Yankees have already done an over-the-top deal with Yes.
They have that, but the Reds aren't in it.
Okay.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, no, it's just for hockey and basketball.
Got ya.
So, because there have been a bunch of Reds fans who have fallen for that.
Yeah.
And thinking, oh, this is great. It's a workaround. It's however much a month. And nope.
8% of people never get a cold. 5% of adults say they are terrified of escalators. I wouldn't say that you're terrified over there, young lady, but you don't like them.
Absolutely not.
Do you Buddy the Elf it?
she does a little. She's got a little stutter step that
I
she
do,
does. when
and
she's-
it's funny because the kids, they always look back to make sure that I've made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
99% of women say they don't want their partner to wear a Speedo this summer.
99%?
99%
Thank you, ladies.
say they do not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't want to see your husbands in the minor.
That's right. Americans prefer hot dogs over hamburgers for 4th of July cookouts. Now, wait a minute. At first, I really balked at this idea. And then I thought, okay, for this one holiday, I'll give in to hot dogs. By the way, I like hot dogs. I like hot dogs a lot, but I don't prefer them to hamburgers. Hamburgers are superior to hot dogs, except I would yield to the hot dog just on the 4th of July. So I would be okay.
I don't know. I mean, I think that's where you grab one hamburger, one hot dog, and you get a little bit of both, best of both worlds.
That is my go-to move. Over the last few years, if I do one, I do the other. But by the way, I'm going to remind you again, if you've not found your way to the spiral dog, you are not doing life correctly.
What I've done even is do your hot dogs in the air fryer.
So I
And
need
it
to make a
actually
video
does pretty good.
of you doing the spiral dogs. Like
Now,
a
do
how
you grill
to.
them then?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, listen, he is precise.
I've got some hot dogs
He has
in
got
the
it down.
Now, to give credit where credit is due, I learned the trick from Rick Burgess. And there is a video on YouTube of Rick Burgess doing the spiral dog technique. That's where I learned it from. But take a paring knife, take a skewer through the hot dog, then just score it it just comes out like a cue. And so that way you get the it grills better, it plumps up better, the barbecue sauce gets in there in between the cuts. It's very good.
barbecue sauce in your hot dog.
Yeah, I just brush a little on the outside, but now I don't put so much then that I don't want the ketchup and mustard, but you just put a little something on there, and I put a little Carolina seasoning on there, and it's good. Anyway, if you've not done spiral dogs, you're missing out. You will thank me later for learning the spiral dog.
Well, I guess I have the bun length in my fridge right now, and I don't know that is that going to get you too much spiraling?
It's actually better because then it's like bun length plus. See, the spiral gives you a little more coverage.
But see, I also
you get the frank kind of poking out the end of the bun, and
I
that's
also
good.
like to do the cheese dog sometimes, and I guess you can't do that with a spiral.
I've never attempted that
Because I feel like when you'd stick the skewer through, your cheese would come shooting out the other end.
Perhaps, or it may just it may take the
Make it
cheese to a
cheesier?
new level. Yeah, it may take cheese to places that it wouldn't have gone before. Like
Maybe
doing
next time I'll try just one.
that. Now I will balk at this. Pepsi releases cola infused ketchup just in time for the July 4th holiday. No thanks.
Here's the thing with that is this is just barbecue sauce.
That's all that it is.
Well, I mean, like when you think about it, a lot of places make barbecue sauce with Coke or with Dr. Pepper or something like that.
They do?
Oh yeah,
I didn't
that's
know
a fairly common thing. So what this is pretty much is, and barbecue sauce base is ketchup for the most part. So this is really just a Pepsi barbecue sauce.
So they're calling this Cola Chup.
Mm-hmm.
Cola Chup will be available for sampling at Comerica Ballpark, Yankee Stadium, Chase Field, and Target Field starting
Makes
4th
sense.
of July.
Makes sense for those four. You and Chase Blaine can go to your ballparks and get your cola chip, but I don't know that this would be terrible.
Okay, I got to run through these quickly. We have been blessed with a bounty of Am I the Butthead questions today. Yeah. We won't be able to deep dive on these, but surface level, we'll be able to kind of digest these. One parent says, am I a butthead for saying that my kids aren't my greatest accomplishment? You know, you have parents say, oh, my greatest accomplishment are my kids. No, you're not a butthead.
No, I mean,
because
we don't know what your kids are like.
By the way, it's easy to have kids,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, now the birthing process I'm not saying is easy, but they're pretty easy to make, very hard to raise. Well, yes. Now, and to be clear, some people, their greatest accomplishments are their kids. But I would offer, if you've not done things in life that are greater than that, you might not be trying hard enough. So I'll just use Elon Musk as an example. He created Tesla and he created SpaceX. I'm going to tell you, no matter how good his kids are, his kids aren't his greatest accomplishment.
You can't even spell his kid's name.
That's true. Not without some mathematical symbols.
Yeah.
So people who have gone out and done great things, like, are Joe Biden's kids his greatest accomplishment? I say no. I say being the president is Joe Biden's greatest accomplishment.
Donald Trump's kids, are they?
Yeah, exactly.
But then again, I mean, I could see Obama saying, though, because, I mean, it seems like his daughters are a little bit more poised than the Bidens and the and Don Jr.
without a doubt. But I still think
Laura
that
Bush.
I still think that being president is a bigger accomplishment. I mean, we've only had 45, 46?
46.
So we've only had 46. We've had billions
Well, I
of
guess,
kids.
no, technically we've only had 45 because they count, what's his name, twice. Cleveland, technically he was the 34th and 36th or whatever it was. That's not correct numbers. So technically 45 men have held the position 46 times.
Okay, so you're not a butthead if your kids aren't your greatest accomplishment or if you say that they aren't. Now, here's the next one. Am I the butthead for uninviting a brother from a wedding for not liking baby names?
For not liking the brother's baby names?
The brother objected to the baby names scheduled for his sister and said so she uninvited him from the wedding.
So she's getting married. He doesn't like her kids' names.
No, apparently it's a shotgun wedding, or cart before the horse wedding, and a man who warned his sister about her ridiculous baby name choices was subsequently uninvited from her wedding, but he is being applauded online. He said, am I the butthead because his sister, Katie, looks down on he and his brother, Ian, who is 38. She attended Yale Law School. Her fiance went to Stanford Medical School, so they are naming their kids Stanford and Yale. He messaged her and said, this is ridiculous and dumb. Don't do it. So she uninvited him from the wedding.
I think he's okay.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
Kids have been named dumber things for dumber stuff. Though,
Absolutely.
Am I going to name my future kid Western Kentucky?
I guess something like that, or just Big Red.
But did you see the collab yesterday that came out?
No.
Big Red and Grimace made a video together.
Oh wow! Well, I mean, hey,
they were playing football.
And then the last one: am I the butthead for asking my cousin to change her cat's name?
Yes.
So. You got individual who has a cousin who adopted a cat. The cat's given name was Millie. Then my cousin comes home, announces the cat is Millie. Then I've got baby names. Me and my husband have cooked up, and Millie is on the list. In fact, Millie is his favorite. So she says, you got to change your cat's name because we want to use that for the baby.
Sorry.
That's right. Leave the cat's name Millie. It's just the way it was supposed to be. So the lady who's asking her to change the name is definitely the butthead. Got to get to a break. We'll come back. Your chance to win coming up here on In the Know.
Maybe you're not one of those frequent flyers, but sometimes you just want to hit the beach or see your new granddaughter or go to that out-of-state wedding. Whatever the reason for your getaway, if it involves flying in the U.S. or visiting a military base after May 7th, 2025, you'll need a Kentucky Real ID driver's license or an ID that is Real ID compliant. Make a plan to get your Kentucky Real ID now. Go to realidky.com.
Doors take us to summers away or winter adventures and afternoon getaways. Your dedicated Fidelity advisor can help you open those doors by working with you on a comprehensive plan to help you reach your wealth's full potential. Because doors were meant to be opened. Visit fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimum supply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE SIPC.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTR-CM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
The Kentucky Department for Community-Based Services is hiring. DCBS invites you to be part of an inclusive team of caring professionals that helps all Kentucky families through a rewarding career in family support or social services. They have job openings in their county offices across the state and offer great benefits like hybrid work schedule, competitive salary, paid holidays, and many opportunities for training and promotions, plus state employee discounts. Go online to chfs.ky.gov and enter DCBS jobs in the search field. It's a new day at DCBS. Join them, an equal opportunity employer MFD.
K105 Weather is brought to you by Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield.
Several rounds of showers and thunderstorms remain in the forecast for today, some of which could be strong to severe with damaging winds, hail, and heavy rain, the main threats. In addition to that, we do have an air quality alert that remains in place due to that wildfire smoke across the region. From the Wave News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Tawana Andrew.
The 105 Days of Summer is powered by Litchfield Exterminating here on the Twin Lakes Best Mix, K105.
Born in a hurry, always late, haven't been early since 88.
Today's Did You Know is brought to you by ECTC's Litchfield campus, because knowledge is power, so they want you to know more stuff than you know now. And by the way, they're preparing for the fall term, so you can get your financial aid worked out.
It's going to be here really soon.
It will be here
It's kinda
sooner than you
Yeah.
know, mid-August, and here we are about to roll up around on July 1st. So get your schedule worked out, get your financial aid worked out, and be ready to on-ramp back to your educational future. It's college for the real world. It's right here at home. ECTC's Litchfield campus sponsoring today's Did You Know, because knowledge is power. Did you know to cook an egg, you might need this later, to cook an egg, a sidewalk needs to be 158 degrees Fahrenheit. So if you've got a sunny sidewalk somewhere later on today, the NASCAR guys use them where they point the temperature gauges at the pavement to tell you the temperature. You get 158 degrees, you can cook an egg.
I was at a race at Kentucky Speedway, and they did it one time, and it worked.
It
on,
did.
on the
They did
asphalt,
egg.
yeah.
You could probably do it on the hood of a car as well. So if you want like a nonstick pan.
Are you volunteering your truck
No,
for
I thought
that?
we would use yours.
No, listen, mine's the newest.
Today's water cooler question. Your chance to win, and you will text your answer to 270-259-6000. 270-259-6000. You qualify to win if you or your household not won in the last 30 days and you're 18 years of age or older. Today, Kentucky Kingdom tickets are up for grabs, and you got to answer the water cooler question. And it's about 3 in 100 people agree you shouldn't do this at the gym. 3 in 100 people agree you should not do this at the gym.
It's such a small
3
percentage.
in 10.
Yeah.
3 in
Makes
10.
it hard. All the obvious ones are going to
3
be
in
much
10
larger.
say don't do this at the gym. Of all the correct responses, we will draw from them to determine a winner. Text your response to 270-259-6000. So I heard yesterday that Madonna has been in the hospital. She is a little like Voldemort on the show. She whose name we dare not speak because we were insulted when we went to see her a few years ago in Louisville. And I happened to catch Terry Miner's conversation on her visit to Louisville. Her last visit, he was sharing the news that she had been hospitalized. And he made the comment that she made a bunch of people in the Louisville community unhappy on her last visit. So it wasn't just us. It was a bunch of people that are like, this is nonsense. You know, we're not putting up with this. Well, she's been in the hospital with some type of bacterial something or another, serious bacterial infection. She's expected to recover fully. She's had several health issues over the last few years, but she is 64 and she's had, she's a person who's been very active, dance, her regimen, et cetera, has been hard over the years. So but then I saw an alert this morning that was like she had a setback, but I don't know that for sure. There was something I saw on the crawl that made me wonder if she wasn't out of the woods yet. But she was in ICU for several days. So there you go. She just doesn't, I don't know. There's something about her appearance that's odd. Pink has had a weird week. So at her, she had a woman's ashes cast at her feet at a music festival. She did a show at Hyde Park in London recently, and they gave her a cheese wheel.
I would not be upset about.
She got a large wheel of brie cheese from a
That's
fan.
one of my favorite. That's a wheel of cheese too. And she's got there.
Yeah.
I mean, that is.
And it's not like a hospitality gift from the mayor who says, "Hey, thanks for coming to our town. Here's a cheese wheel." This is some fan who hauled this in and says, "Here's a cheese wheel."
I'm surprised security didn't go.
You know what I'd like to have though? I'd like to have a Baby Bell that big.
Be a lot of Baby Bells.
The wax container.
Uh-huh.
Like one big giant wax container and a Baby Bell in there the size of that cheese wheel. That'd be good. I couldn't eat it all at one time.
I would hope not.
Kelly Clarkson addresses the rumors that she has a feud with Carrie Underwood. She says, no, there's no beef between Carrie Underwood and I. She said, I think I know where you're going with this, when Andy Cohen was asking about a potential dust-up. The American Idol Season 4 winner, Kelly Clarkson, was interviewed. She said, people always pit us together, and we don't even know each other well enough to be pitted together. Literally, we've run into each other a handful of times. There's no beef between us. So I don't know who's trying to cause drama between Kelly Clarkson and.
I don't know.
I've heard Kelly Clarkson described in an interesting fashion when someone couldn't remember her name. Steven Spielberg, Martin Scorsese, and Paul Thomas Anderson are stepping in to save Turner Classic Movies. Following what seemed like a major loss for consumers and film archiving, 3 legendary directors have stepped in to offer their aid in righting the ship. Spielberg, Scorsese, and Anderson have joined forces with TCM in order to guide programming decisions and curation. So I guess they'll take over the mantle for the next generation of, it's not often that I do it, but sometimes I'll just turn on Turner Classic Movies because it feels so nostalgic. You know, you see the movies, you go, wow, movies were made differently back in the olden days, when I was a kid. Yeah, movies from when I was a kid, when they end up on Turner Classic Movies, I think I'm hanging it up. I'm like, oh no. We got to get to a break. We'll figure out our winner for the day. We've got Chart Topper, Point to Ponder, Pearl of Wisdom, and more coming in. You're on In the Know.
Not long ago, a friend of mine who's an educator told me about a story at college graduation where a single mom came up to him crying. She said, my daughter graduated with a French literature degree and we're $70,000 in debt. What am I going to do? My heart goes out to that single parent. My goodness, what will you do with a French literature degree and $70,000 in debt to get it? Well, here's the truth. Not all colleges are equal, and some that charge a lot of money, you can pay a whole lot less for that French literature degree elsewhere and be just as satisfied. The bigger question, though, is your child ready for college, or is college the path for them? I think as a parent, we need to really ask ourselves and our children that very question. There are other alternatives to college: vocational training, job training. The military is a noble endeavor. And sure, if you and your child decide higher education is the right path, it's worth taking the time to find a school that best fits their interests and needs and your budget. Whatever path your child chooses, remind them of this. What employers are looking for most are candidates who are disciplined, reliable, and who have good character. Those are qualities that will help create a solid future, regardless if you have a college degree or not. To help your children thrive, visit FocusOnTheFamily.com. I'm Jim Daly.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's Medi-Share. Maybe you've heard switching to Medi-Share to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month. And that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for Medishare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. Medishare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 888-SHARE-19. That's 888-SHARE-19. 888-SHARE-19.
Wendy's Strawberry Frosty is back for the summer. So whether it's beach time, a tea time, or me time, it can always be Frosty time. Choose Wendy's Strawberry Frosty today. Now open till midnight or later.
Limited time only. Participating U.S. Wendy's. Hours may vary.
Your choice of lifestyle directly affects your health. And while there are many complex factors surrounding your lifestyle, sometimes the simple truth is that you just need to feel better. Well, rest assured, your feel better starts right here at Midway Pharmacy. We take our time to get to know you and your lifestyle so we can provide sound advice on ways to improve your overall health. So whether your goal is to maintain a healthy lifestyle or overcome that untimely sickness, remember,
Your feel better starts here.
at Midway Pharmacy.
Get real with the fever on the dance floor.
MB's Point to Ponder. For today, why do we focus so much on the good fortune of the early bird and not the misfortune of the worm? You know, say, oh, early bird gets the worm. Yeah, poor worm. Mm-hmm. But nobody ever defends the poor worm. Oh, the early bird. Oh, the early bird.
That's why I'm not an early bird. I don't like worms.
That's what it is.
That's it.
That's the singular.
I like that,
that's the
Sam.
singular
Night
reason.
owl instead.
I like it. The water cooler question today was 3 in 10 people say it's unacceptable to do this at the gym. Wear jewelry. Wear jewelry is the. I don't know that I scanned through it. Didn't see that as one of the responses, or at least not one that was offered a lot. Was anyone get it?
Yes.
We had one.
3412.
3412. Congratulations. You got tickets to Kentucky Kingdom. A story I didn't get to, and we don't have much time, but heading into the travel weekend, this story caught my eye because it says Southwest Airlines Flyers wheelchair pre-boarding scam leaves fellow passengers fuming. It has become a terrible, terrible problem. So you have the people who don't want to pay for early bird check-in. So they start gaming the system by saying, I need wheelchair assistance, because they board those passengers first. And you now have 20 passengers boarding using a wheelchair. And some of the people, the valet people who push them up and down, said some people now just don't even hide it. They're just saying, I want the perks. Well, Southwest is trying to shove back because it's irritating the other passengers. And it's
probably also
hassle.
irritating the people that actually need
That's exactly right. So, and it's gotten bad enough that I'll sit at the gate and watch people, and you can tell that so you kind of, we were at Fort Lauderdale over the holidays, the Christmas holidays, and there was a lady in a wheelchair. They rolled her up to the gate in the wheelchair, but while we were waiting for the flight, she was just up moving around. She was hauling stuff around like, this is a con. So
I think you should have to go through a test. You know how, if you get pulled over for, a sobriety test, you should, have to do some kind of, I really require a wheelchair test.
Yeah.
Because some of them I would like to just push and shove down the thing, which we all know how I am when I fly.
I'll help you down the ramp. Yeah.
I mean, I just would go, boom.
All right, here's today's on TV tonight. Was there anything that was worth mentioning? I scored something, but I don't know that it's something that you're going to...
It was a heck of a flash of lightning.
Oh, yeah, I was looking down. I didn't see that.
You probably wouldn't have been able to. It was out this way anyways.
On ABC's Season 2 premiere of something called Generation Gap, rounds 2 through 7 of the NHL draft are on ESPN+. And
Miss round one last night.
Yeah, I forgot to tune that in.
All right, there's nothing more exciting than round 6 of the NHL draft.
That's right. It made me wonder. They have 7 rounds, but they got a lot of teams on a lot of people on a hockey team, so got to have a bunch of people in the system. Today's highlight in history: this date in 1613, London's original Globe Theatre, where many of Shakespeare's plays were performed, was destroyed by a fire. By the way, the oldest kids are in jolly old London as of this morning.
My parents are about to leave.
I checked in with one Taylor Beale this morning, and I thought this was a clever move from a Disney dad. I sent her the meme of Mary Poppins with the umbrella when she lands in London at the kid's house, and I thought, so I got a Taylor loved an image. That's what I got.
Yeah, Taylor's experiencing jet lag, I'm pretty sure, and going, okay, Dad.
Well, I did get a cheer.
Yeah, that is a good one.
I did get a cheers from London in response to that, too. In 1520, Montezuma II, the 9th and last emperor of the Aztecs, died. In 1776, the Virginia State Constitution was adopted. In 2009, disgraced financier Bernie Madoff got a 150-year sentence for his multi-billion-dollar fraud. As it turns out, he didn't serve that entire sentence since he died in April 2021. Turned out to be a life sentence. Birthdays. Gary Busey is 79. If you had the over on Gary Busey, you're still in the running. There for a while, it didn't look like he'd make it to 65. Richard Lewis is 76. Maria Conchita Alonso is 68. Nicole Scherzinger is 45. And Colin Jost is 41. Gone but not forgotten. Dr. William James Mayo Clinic dude, is 1861. Leroy Anderson.
Not mayonnaise?
No, famous orchestra conductor. You hear at Christmas Sleigh Ride from the Leroy Anderson Orchestra. It's a famous version. And Slim Pickens was born this date in 1919. Dang near lost a $500 hand cart. That is my favorite. What in the wide world of sports is going on here? And then he says, we dang near lost a $500 hand cart.
Colin Jost is Weekend Update guy, right?
He is.
ScarJo's husband?
Mr. Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, he's definitely Mr. Scarlett Johansson, too.
No doubt. 1961. D. Clark. You know what I should do? I should watch Blazing Saddles in honor of Mel Brooks and Slim Pickens, each who their births were within one day of one another, not in the same year. That'd be a good way to honor
Gene
them.
Wilder's birthday a couple weeks ago? I know he's gone on in, but
maybe. D. Clark, Raindrops. Raindrop. Are we getting raindrops yet? I don't see. I don't see any
think
yet.
so just yet.
Just cloudy and dark, at least in North Litchfield.
Lightning.
Yeah.
1970, Three Dog Night, #1. Mama told me not to come. Mama told me not to come.
Gene Wilder's birthday was June the 11th.
Ooh,
so it was not too
all in June. All right.
Because he's in Blazing Saddles, too, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Yep. I wouldn't do that if I were you. I wouldn't do that if I were you. 1979, Donna Summer and Hot Stuff. Just Dance, right? Isn't that
I think
good
so.
version of Just Dance? By the way, did I remember correctly? Do we have the full volume of Just Dance now, or did you just fill in with a bunch of...
I'm not sure. I would have to get what we already own.
You got 3 more?
And compare, but yes, I did buy 3 more. And I don't know that there may be a duplicate. I have no idea.
We have a healthy catalog of
We
what
do.
you're saying is of Just Dance.
We need to get that out.
For all those competitions that I can challenge Misty to. I'm undefeated, by the way, by Misty on Just Dance.
Just against her?
She's the only one I've ever danced battled that I recall.
You and Aliyah haven't gone to it yet?
1988. Only a matter of time.
I think my money might be on Aliyah, too.
Listen, kids got moves.
She doesn't need the Wii to dance.
No. I mean, her footwork.
You know what
I'm
she
looking
needs
at her
to
going,
You know what she
"Ooh."
needs to dance? Her reflection.
Yeah, that's it.
And this song.
She'd be all right.
I know that, KSR had the segment a couple weeks ago about songs that sound happy but are not.
Oh, yes.
And this is one of them, yeah.
Hanson, Bop, number 1 in 97. Nelly Furtado, Promiscuous in 06. Wiz Khalifa, See You Again, number 1 in 2015. All right, MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. I'll give you a little pop off this. They kind of like get into scatting right there. Skippa, skippa, dooba, skippa, skippa. All right, MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Even if you don't reach all your goals, you'll go higher than if you don't set any. Even if you don't reach all your goals, you'll go higher than if you don't set any. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know, and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of our show. For Sam Gormley, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
Powering through the Twin Lakes with the best mix of music, news, weather, and fun. If it's in the